welcome to another episode of the Reluctant Adult Podcast. My name is Paul, and I am joined, as always, by the man who thinks the Costco guys should switch to BJ's Wholesale Club, Bill.
Hi, everyone. That's right. I guess.
Switch to BJ's. Growing up, I was a BJ's guy. That's where I got my Poland spring water. Actually, down here when I moved to Florida, BJ's was the only store where I could get Poland spring water.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, they don't sell it because it's all Zephyr Hills and shit here.
Yeah, you got Zephyr Hills and it tastes like metal.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's very distinct.
No.
But I learned that the Walmart brand water is very much, it's a dupe. It's a Poland Spring dupe. So I switched to Walmart. So I let my BJ's membership lapse. There's nothing else I need there. Actually, we have a Costco membership now. We haven't been in like half a year. I'm a Costco guy.
Why could you?
There's nothing we need. Go get a cheap hot dog every once in a while. But it's not like convenient to our house.
I'm a Sam's Club guy.
It's closer to work. Oh, you're a Sam's Club guy. That's a Walmart extension,
yes.
right?
It is.
Sam Walton. That's the gentleman's original full name.
Maker's Mark is their private label brand.
Maker's Mark. Okay.
Maker's Mark.
Good for them. I was in my quest to grow our channel. I was doing some investigative work on the Costco guys because this week they sort of broke into the national spotlight. They were on Jimmy Fallon. Did you see the clip circulating where Fallon seemed very aggravated by them?
Oh, yeah.
And their whole shtick. He was very over them.
The shtick didn't last long. I don't know if he knew what he was getting into or if he didn't know. Oh.
He's like, who are these guys? What movie have they been in?
Of course.
What season of SNL were they on?
They're just basically just like a one-trick pony, I feel like.
They are the epitome of the one-trick pony. Because I sent you the very first video on TikTok, the guy's account. It's AJ and Power. What's his name? Big
Justice.
Big Justice. Big Justice is his son. Now there's the Rizzler, who is another character who seems to be like, he's really what set them off. He was like the missing ingredient. But he is not related to them by blood. He was
the Black Panther kid. He was the Black Panther kid.
He was the Black... Oh, he dressed up as the Black Panther?
Yes.
And that's how he got his fame, and they connected somehow?
He got noticed by Big Justice, and Big Justice...
Holy crap.
By his right, goes, Daddy, I want to meet him. And it was like...
It was kismet.
Yes.
It's meant to be. So they were on Fallon, and Fallon did not care for them. But AJ, the dad, he is going to step into an AEW wrestling ring and take on someone. I forget that guy's name, but it's like a pre-show match. But like the dad wanted to be a wrestler. He was like an independent wrestler. I guess maybe he still is. I think they've worked this shtick now into getting like more independent wrestling gigs. So this is like his dream come true. He basically just used his children to get famous enough that he could get in. What they really wanted to do was be in the WWE, but they had to settle for AEW, which is just like, if you're AEW, you're like, thanks so much. But it's still going to bring some attention to the company. So I'm sure
they're the Hufflepuff of the wrestling franchises.
Yeah, that's a fair. I think that's a fair
take
assessment.
Everyone else.
They'll take anyone. You got a little bit of fame. We'll take that. No problem.
Sure.
But yeah, I was watching from the very beginning, and in the very beginning, AJ was promoting his like mortgage company, and the fact that he's American. He's like, I drive an American car, I eat American steaks. You should have an American mortgage company, and maybe that's the name of American mortgage or something. But he started doing like, I'm eating a hamburger down at Joe's. It was very in your face, and there was just that. Like I seriously watched like 100. Like I tried to start from the beginning and get to present day because I wanted to see figure out. Like you only need to watch like the first 2 seconds of a video to figure out why, and then you could see the count. Like in the beginning, he was getting like maybe like a dozen likes, but there was a video. It was before the Costco one. but maybe people went backwards after that. But like the Costco one really set them off. And it was just them shopping at Costco, and they're like, how much do you think we're going to spend? Over or under $100,000? Put your comment in the comments. And, good for them. They figured it out. They figured out the magic sauce to get people to watch, and people continue to watch, and they enjoy them. And
I think it's leached into my retail space, if we're being honest.
You see people doing it?
No, but I have a new program starting at the beginning of the month that ties into our hot foods, and it's a single double chunk chocolate cookie wrapped up for people to buy.
Double chunk chocolate cookie.
It's a double chunk chocolate cookie. Yeah, it's like
hard to watch. I don't like. Do people watch it ironically and they're like dance, or is it like
they like the Rizzler? They appreciate the Rizzler.
Yeah, I haven't got to the point where the Rizzler is added. I'm still like pre-Rizzler on my rewatch.
I think there's two camps to this. I think there's the Rizzler camp, and then there's the Big Justice AJ camp.
And then the daughter and the mom pop up sometimes. They're like
they do, and everyone's obsessed with the daughter's shoes. Yeah,
the shoes. What's she got going on there?
Some kind of Nike. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
They just do that dance where they're like...
They do the dance. Yeah, that's a more recent thing. They weren't doing the dance when in the videos I was watching. I haven't caught up yet. I got to do some more homework. But
hopefully this is like, all the time. Is this all the time we're giving to these guys?
Oh, you hate them?
I don't hate them. I think
you don't think they deserve the spotlight, the pedestal.
I think it's an interesting time that we live in, that entertainment is like, but you know what? What I have been noticing on top of that is if you watch a lot of even Target commercials, they're focusing a lot more on social media stars.
Well, sure.
And it's just an interesting time that we're living in, because it's like, what's the low level of like buy-in for like a corporation to be like, yeah, we can't afford Harrison Ford, but we can get 3 of these internet stars. And now it's really just the internet stars' time to shine, it seems like.
There was a magazine cover recently, and usually they do like Young Hollywood, and you get to see they're like
like the Vanity Fair
people to watch, and that's exactly what it is. Yeah, and it's like these are the up and comers, and this time they did it, and it was mostly like TikTok and Instagram people.
Oh,
and
really?
I only knew one person, and it's the guy that does all the impressions, and he's very good. But I didn't know anybody else from it, and like I kind of felt good about that. I was like, okay, not for
Our
me.
friend with the Mickey Mouse puppet wasn't there.
Oh my God, I haven't I haven't seen or heard anything from him since that debacle. Do you think we maybe he blocked us? I was like, I don't think we caused him to end his career, but I literally have not seen anything from him. He did not want to collaborate with us for some reason. We had Kermit lined up. He didn't want to do a Mickey Kermit show. Someone's got to do that. Well, that's fine. Yeah, that's enough. That's enough of them. Maybe the wrestling thing. Maybe I'll talk about that when it happens. All right. Top story of the week. Mondo finally put up for pre-order their real Ghostbusters. Well, the first set. The first set was Peter Venkman and Samhain, or however you say that correctly in Irish. Well, is Irish. Irish isn't a language. But you know what I mean, right?
It's like Gaelic.
Gaelic, is that what it is? Okay.
Yes. Samhain.
Did Halloween originate in Ireland? I heard like a radio commercial where it's like, come to the land of the home of Halloween. I was like, I never really thought about Halloween originating.
I think I saw a commercial for Ireland, and it was like, we used to wear masks to ward this off, and it just evolved into Halloween. Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's nice. All right, I'm looking on the Mondo site because I thought I heard that the Peter sold out. So let's see.
No. The individual Peter or the 2-pack?
Well, that's what I'm trying to find. So the categories are 1/6 scale figures, which he is not. He is a 1/12. He's not a Mondo squad, so I'm going to have to shop all. He's like their first 1/12. He's not even popping up. Can I search? Let's do Venkman. And okay, Yeah, so I guess the 2-pack with the exclusive Samhain sold out. So I guess people were not turned off by that price tag, which is $100 per figure, and he's a 2-pack, so he is $200. It's also $101 per figure. Like, what are we doing here? You need that extra dollar on there just to put it over the top. So did you get your order in?
I didn't.
You didn't? No. Well, it's too late now. It's sold out. I also did not. The price is just so much. But there is a silver lining because we learned that the non-exclusive set, which is just Peter, no Samhain, will be sold or is currently up for pre-order on the fan channel sites like Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, and those sites do not charge until the item ships, which is not until next summer. So you can pre-order, and then you can have almost a year to try to make $100, or decide that you don't want to spend that much money on a Ghostbuster toy, and you can cancel it. There'll be no repercussions to you. It's just, I think the internet found out this week how much these figures cost. We already knew. We've been talking about this for a month or so. But the internet
revealed, yes.
The internet found out, and they were there. You know, I think we're all on the same page that this is just way too much money. It's just way too much money, and it's hard to understand. Other than maybe the license itself costs so much that they have to charge so much. But apples to oranges, you compare these toys to other things on the market. You can compare them to like a Mezco 112 collective toy, which is probably $100 if not more. But you got the soft goods clothing. You have so many accessories usually. It's just, on the surface, it doesn't seem like the value is there. And it almost seems like they're kind of taking advantage of fans who have waited literally their entire lives for screen-accurate real Ghostbusters action figures.
Do you think Hasbro will come out? It does suck. Do you think Hasbro will just come out and be like, all right, yeah, there was a demand for those. Now we'll do them. And just pull the rug out? You think we should just wait?
Well, we can wait because we have at least until next summer for Peter.
Fair
and
enough.
I don't know how long it is until the next one. And I don't even know which the next one is. But it's interesting you mentioned Hasbro, because we kind of thought Hasbro was maybe done with Ghostbusters because we didn't see the Plasma Collection figures for Frozen Empire. So we're like, okay, they're done. And then this year they surprised us with the HasLab for the Ecto-1, which kind of seemed like all-inclusive, like a swan song for the Ghostbuster toys. Like, okay.
And it could be.
Put everything left into this.
Sure. And it could be, yeah.
It could be. There was somebody on Twitter who seems to have their finger on the pulse of action figures, and they think that the Hasbro team, the Ghostbuster team inside Hasbro, does have some surprises for next year. So I wouldn't say it's all over. But speaking of that HasLab, there was a big development this week because, as we know, it had that early bird component where in the first 2 weeks it had to fund to get that Louis figure. And then on Thursday, I believe, one day before the deadline, Hasbro announced that as long as it funds, as long as it reaches the $12,000 threshold, at some point during the campaign, not necessarily during the first 2 weeks, we will, everyone will get Louis.
Everybody gets a Louis. You get a Louis. You get a
Louis. Which is great news, because checking it, it's currently at 8,742, which is not funded because it needs to get to 12,000.
That's not funded. So we are already at the 2 week mark. That would have been, we would have seen it yesterday. We're recording on Saturday. We'd have seen it this past Friday.
Yep.
And it might have moved it if we had known, since they released, that was a Halloween treat, they called it.
I think they had the internals to realize it wasn't going to happen.
Sure.
But they probably already baked Louis, the cost of Louis, into the deal. And they were just trying to use it because it's better for them if it funds quickly. And then they don't have to worry about it. Now they have to kind of worry about it. They have to sweat it out a little bit. but
not for much longer.
Still confident. I'm still confident.
Of course.
How long do we have? What's the end date on this one?
As of this recording, we have, if I hit discover, because I'm on the webpage now.
Hey, there it is. I'm looking at it too.
We're 30 days away.
30 days. So we got a month. So end of November. Yeah, I'm pretty... It's tricky, though, because this is the holiday season, and it's like any money you get, you're probably going to, like, spend immediately on presents or whatever.
Right. Well, this is a present. Spend it on yourself.
This is spend it on yourself. Treat yourself. But I am confident that it's going to hit 12,000 because we only need, like, a little over 300 more. So it's going to happen. We're going to get our Ghostbuster Ecto 1. We're going to get our Louis. We're going to get the team in their gray uniforms, which appears very shortly, very briefly in Ghostbusters 2. So that's fine. And then we'll see what the next year brings, and we'll see like when we can expect to have this Ecto in our homes, which would be great to know. That trap is supposed to be shipping soon. The Mythbusters guy has it. He did a review of it. He always gets everything early.
Right.
So, we'll see. Did you get that? Did you order the trap?
No, I didn't. I said no to that one.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I have comparables.
You have the Maddie one.
The Maddie one's serviceable. And
you have the popcorn bucket.
I have the popcorn bucket. No, I don't have the popcorn bucket.
You didn't get either of the popcorn bucket traps?
I didn't. No.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Do you have the real Ghostbusters trap?
Yes.
That one's my favorite. Glows in the dark.
It's a fun one. Came with a glow-in-the-dark ghost before Ecto Glow. Yeah, it was great.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. You know, looking at this Mondo figure, the part of it, the figure looks great. It looks very good. I don't know why I thought it looked like it looks fine. I don't think it looks bad. I think it looks good. But for whatever reason, the way it was shot or something, I felt like I thought it looked better before. I don't know. Maybe I just need to compare it to what they used as, like material to design it off of. But the proton pack, I really want that proton pack. I wish they would sell that proton pack separately. And then I wish they would make a 1-to-1 giant version of it. There's just something so nostalgic about the shape and the color and the neutrino wand and the trap that fits on the side, which we never saw in the original movies, but is just so obvious. Yes, of course it would go there. So that's what I really want to see. A big real Ghostbusters proton pack.
I hope your dreams come true.
I hope they come true. I hope they come true too. That'd be great. So there's a lot of companies are making a lot of Ninja Turtle action figures. A lot. Some may say too many.
I'm in that camp.
But here's the thing. Nobody's making you buy all of them. No one's making you buy any of them. If you were collecting the Toon line from NECA, you probably noped out at some point and stopped being a completist on that because they went real deep, too deep.
And now I can't sell anything for above cost. It's all just sitting around.
That's the thing too. Nothing is worth anything. In the beginning, it was a little bit more scarce and stuff had value.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Modern toys have no secondary value for the most part. There's a new company. They are now called Medi Toys. They had a different name. They were Memory Toys at one point. They're now Medi Toys with a Z on toys. Not a great name, but for whatever. They are doing 112 Ninja Turtles, and these are the beefy, almost Michael Bay looking turtles, but they're very articulated. They have more articulation than probably any Ninja Turtle action figures ever. They even gave them cuts under their turtle breasts, the chest area here. They look very good for what they are. If you're okay with this design, where it's very, very He-Man muscular, and then the heads are kind of tiny compared to their body, I think a little bit. But they released a couple new photos this week of Raphael and Leonardo from sort of 3/4 angle from the back, and they sculpted their turtle butts. They gave them very heaping helping of cake. There's like a very ample behind on there.
Turtle tush.
So if you like your turtles a certain way, these are definitely going to be your favorite Ninja Turtle figures of all time. But they do look very interesting. I will be curious to see these in the hands of toy photographers and just like the general collectors and see how they move, how their articulation works, because they look good. Michelangelo has a very sinister grin. It's very disturbing. These definitely are just their own universe, but if you really like super articulated turtles, I think these might be right up your alley. So that should be fun. Speaking of articulation, Hasbro has been trying to get kids to like Star Wars, the toys, and
they really have.
What's the name of the kid focus line with like 5 points of articulation?
It's something hero.
Okay. Like Galactic Heroes or something?
No, Galactic Heroes was that little Fisher-Price style.
That's right. I remember those. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me look, because it does deserve to be researched.
Epic Hero.
Epic Heroes?
Okay. Well, that's what I'm saying here or something. All right, so they had these epic heroes, and they did, like the main, the most.
They did the evergreen characters. They did,
right.
Vader,
they didn't do
Stormtrooper.
Like, there's no like Jabba's palace aliens, right? Like Mandalorian and Luke and Vader and Stormtrooper. Right. So these didn't seem to do too well. I think even Five Below was stocking these.
Yeah, this is the budget line.
It just it hasn't worked. So they've retooled the line, and they've retooled the actual figures, and they're giving them a little more articulation because they had a biker scout, and I think he's got like ball joints now and maybe elbows and knees.
Well, I mean, he needs those in order to ride the vehicle.
Well, not necessarily, because in that Power of the Force 2 figure, he didn't have knee or elbow articulation, did he?
He had shoulder, and I mean, he was sculpted. That came out before we actually got a biker scout proper in the main line. We got that first.
He came with the bike.
I want to say he had knee articulation.
I'm looking at him now. I don't think he does.
No? Okay.
Maybe.
Well, then he was just
But like, what would even be the
way.
point? There's nothing. There's nothing for him to do. There's not even like the pedal to put his foot on. But yeah, so they're giving these guys some more.
Moved.
That's true. He did have like that nice, the neck bend. Yeah.
Right. He did that.
They knew he needed that at least because he can sit up straight. That was such a fun toy to have, especially because I didn't have the Kenner version. So this was like my first time,
right?
And
so
then you got like
the Kenner version. It was the Kenner version. It was just
it was exactly
mold.
the Kenner mold, but they made it a little more detailed, and obviously the figures are different. And then you could like get Luke and Leia and have their little dog fight. It was just it was a fun time. It was a fun time to collect Star Wars toys.
Nice and simple.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's coming out. It's got like some kind of like crumple action, I think it's called.
Oh, really?
I don't think it necessarily explodes like the older version of the bike, speeder bike.
These are now called Epic World of Action.
Ooh.
That's what it's called.
The EPA.
Instead of Epic Hero, they are now Epic World of Action. So this is like a Grogu Scout Trooper because the bike is white. Or is that from another time? It seems like he should come with Grogu because he's got this little backpack-looking thing here, but I don't think he does.
Right.
He's not pictured. But all the white is very like dingy looking, and maybe that's supposed to be like the sand. I don't know, but it's interesting that they did go back, and they're like, fine. I guess kids at least need elbow joints. We're not going to give them much else.
Give them the elbows.
Give them the elbows. Come on. Kids today are more sophisticated. I imagine most people buying these toys are adults anyways, and the kids do not care. Kids do not care about Star Wars.
I mean,
There's
I go into
nothing-
the main places that
nothing.
have this stuff, and I don't see much of it moving anymore. But there was a time. I mean, I like seeing Star Wars on the shelf, but I also like seeing it move,
Yeah,
and
it's not happening.
it's just not.
I really wonder what the conversation is around Star Wars as a property. We've seen Hasbro going into this cutting cost mode.
Right.
How much longer are they contracted to do Star Wars? It's possible they say that's enough. There's no more money to be made from this license, and give someone else a chance.
I feel like we're probably seeing the Hasbro leg of it like in its twilight. I feel like we might have, depending on, because there's no real, we've got the Skeleton Crew, which we'll talk about in a second, but
Sure.
you know, there's not really much on the radar outside of that Mandalorian and Grogu movie that's supposedly coming out.
And that'll probably
in the future.
That'll probably tie up any loose ends from that whole thing, and that'll be the end of that.
Right.
I don't think the series will return.
We have Andor, and then we have that Rey movie that's been
That's
postponed.
probably not going to happen. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So the future of Star Wars is kind of like in your imagination.
Right.
It's nothing is for certain. So I don't know. And then it's like, would Lucasfilm or whoever owns it, I guess Disney, expect the contract negotiations to be like, well, you know, it's still Star Wars. You still have to, I mean, we paid for it. You still have to pay for it. Mm-hmm. So let's say that Hasbro decides that they're going to sit this one out. I don't know how much longer they have the license for, but let's say it does end eventually. Is there a company out there right now that you would like to see take a shot at making Star Wars action figures?
I feel like if we were going to give it to McFarlane, we'd have a new figure every week. We'd be in heaven.
Well, that's true. I don't know if that's... So McFarlane, they've really settled in well with the DC stuff because the style is... They have that, like, the rubber cod piece, and that works well for superheroes. I guess it would work well for Vader, because that's what his costume looks like. I don't know that it would work well... But he has started doing more soft goods with the capes. So maybe he would do like the soft goods tunic for Farm Boy Luke. Maybe that could be something.
It could be.
His likenesses are okay. I think with the Batman movie line, he definitely showed a lot of progress, improvement. So, man, could you imagine McFarlane, comeback story of the century, gets the Star Wars license? You got Star Wars and DC. And then Hasbro still has Marvel. That's not doing gangbusters either. There's a chance they let that one go. Could McFarlane legally do both DC and Marvel? Do you think Disney would allow that? Do you think Warner Brothers would allow that? Could you imagine crossovers?
That's a really good question.
Man, I don't know. It's possible.
Unless
it's not.
Unless it's not, but I mean, if he can produce, then what's the harm? I would say.
What's the harm? He's shown that he can do it with Batman.
Yeah, and he's got those Marvel statues that seem to be doing okay.
Are they doing all right? I've seen that like giant.
I've seen them here and there. I mean, they're a little too pricey for me, but I mean,
they just look weird with like all the cross hatching or whatever that's supposed to be, like to make it look like a comic.
Cell shading.
It's not even cell shading. It's like black lines. Like, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. It's not for me, but it's for someone else. What's that thing he's doing where it's like it's even got his name in the title, and it's like 3 characters, and they're like, they made them really like Hulks, but they're tiny toys. Like, they've limited articulation. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, they're almost, yes, yeah. He's got Bane,
like Todd's Chads or something. They're like these
Todd's
little
Bods.
Todd's Bods. Something. Yeah. I was like, man, he is just having fun. Like, I don't know who asked for this.
Todd. Right?
I had an idea. I'm going to make these stupid things, and then I'm going to sell them. People are going to buy them. Walmart's going to buy them.
Time to show them what I really want.
The whole time to shine. Todd's Bods. I'm surprised we haven't seen like toys made of baseballs or something. We know how much he loves baseball.
Right.
So it'll be interesting. As far as Star Wars, I would like to see Mezco do them. Not that I want them to be like the only people making Star Wars toys, but I would like to see 112 Collective soft goods action
the
figures.
big dream. This one comes out of left field. Not to keep it on that baseball trend that we're all talking about.
Hey,
of our interview with
analogies.
Brian Volk-Weiss there loves his baseball,
yeah.
but a lot of people want to see Playmobil get Star Wars.
Wow. You know, I never thought about that. Yeah, I think probably if Disney is smart, they'll do what Nickelodeon is doing with Ninja Turtles and just be like, you want to try?
Yeah.
Everybody that wants a piece.
Who
Why
wants
not?
a piece of this
Why
turtle
not?
ham? I will carve
Why
off a
not?
slice for you.
I think that is probably the way to go because each company can sort of cater to their niche audience. And maybe you would have a company like Playmates, or I'm sorry, maybe you would have a company like Playmobil that can make some stuff that kids like. And maybe you could sell it to kids.
That's
I
true.
wonder, because I know Lego has Star Wars too. And that's
they
separate.
do. Imaginext just got into... Who is Imaginext? Is that Fisher-Price or is that...
I feel like Imaginext is owned by someone that Hasbro owns, because didn't they do Power Rangers too? I don't know.
Yeah, but they have those Star Wars. They have those Star Wars sets.
That's true.
Now.
They have like the really large Darth Vader.
The large Vader
R2.
that turns into a base. Yeah, that stuff.
They've always done kids Star Wars though, like Galactic Heroes we were just talking about. Like there's always been options for those. I think now is just like not the right time, because we saw it with the Young Jedi Academy. Those were kids' toys. They all went to clearance. I saw them at Ollie's today. There was a set with like hologram Yoda or something. I knew it wasn't Spirit of Yoda because he's not dead yet. Must be hologram Yoda.
I believe that was a Walmart exclusive. If I had to,
there you go. Now it's Ollie's.
Yeah, now it's Ollie's. Yeah.
But I would like to see, because I won't even say I collect Black Series, but I have Black Series figures, and if there's like a good figure that comes out of a character that I don't have, I'll buy it if I like it.
Yeah.
But at this point, I'm almost more interested in like these imports, because it seems like was it Tashi or TH or something, these companies that do like the very articulated figures,
right?
They seem to get the likenesses better too, especially with Luke.
I mean, I'll bring out.
You got Indy.
I don't think I've done anything. I got Indy here from SH Figure Arts.
There you go.
He's
got the ultimate face plates, flip around. Yeah. Then,
what's on this one? Oh, he's got paint on his face.
That's the Hasbro one.
It's the Hasbro one.
It's not great. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens after Mezco really hit it out of the park. Another baseball analogy with the Power Rangers, and they even did really well with Ninja Turtles, which is not something that I thought that they would do. Give them everything. Let them try. Give them first right of refusal. I want to see these. I want to see everything at 112 with soft goods. It's the ultimate action figure. If you can pull it off. I want to see wrestlers in that. I would actually love to see McFarlane do WWE, because I think the way they do their DC figures with that, like the diaper, I think that works really well for wrestlers who wear trunks. Like that's just the natural form of what they're wearing. So I think that would be fine. But you have these companies, like Mattel has been doing wrestling. They've been doing WWE for over 10 years, maybe 15 years at this point. You had Hasbro, obviously, since the beginning of time, because they absorbed Kenner doing Star Wars. Playmates was doing Star Trek. They tried to revive them. We talked to Brian from Nacelle about how they're going to do it a little differently. Right. I just feel like you got to like start over at some point, because I know people don't like to restart collections, but I look at how when Jax did WWF, WWE, they every few years or so would completely upend the form factor of their toys, and they would start fresh. So they started off with bone crunching action, which were these soft rubber bodies, and the sculpting was pretty bad in a lot of them.
Yeah.
Then they went to Titantron Live, which the first series was a disaster, but then they incorporated that real scan technology, which is what everyone does now, where they use the lasers to get your accurate portrait. And then those figures got a little better. Then they made the figures even better than that. They did Ruthless Aggression, and now Mattel, they built on that. But Mattel, the bodies have been the same. Like, they've made upgrades, but like the form factor is the same. And I just feel like at a certain point, you run out of characters, you run out of versions of each character, and like, it's a risk. But I think at some point you kind of have to try, maybe introduce an alternate line and see how the fans react. And if it's good, make that your main line going forward. But I know a lot of people would just like throw up their hands and be like, I'm done. And then the value of the figures would probably drop immediately because no one wants to collect. But change is scary. I think that's what it comes down to. But sometimes you got to do it.
Oh, sure. I mean, I would consider it if Hasbro Star Wars ended tomorrow and a new company started doing it, I think it would be a mutual breakup, in my opinion. I think that would be good. I think I would say, okay, it's over. Now I can go back to the well and pick up things that I didn't get.
Oh, you think you would go back and try to complete your Hasbro
collection?
If
there was something that I was on the fence about, I would probably lean towards, completing things on that end as opposed to collecting something new. So we'd have these people out here that'd be like, oh, I want to just keep going. I'll get it. I'll get it.
I just remember there being something so refreshing about like the Batman the Animated Series line. They changed the animation style, it became the New Adventures, and Hasbro had to change the figures. And they, it's same scale, but they were different. The toys were different because it matched the artwork, and the toys just felt different. And it was just refreshing to be like, okay, I can start fresh here, and this is a new collection, and I can decide if I want to be a completist on this. And then with Ninja Turtles, that was always happening too, a new show or a new movie. It was like a new opportunity to start fresh. Because I think at this point, there's like very few completists of anything. Oh, yeah. Because there's just too much. So it kind of gives you a chance to reset and be like, do I still want to collect this or not? And if I do, this is a great way to like ease into it. So there is something I'm not gonna be about that.
A completist about is the Halloween Trick-or-Treaters by NECA.
No, there's too many.
They just released and announced a full line of glow-in-the-dark versions of Series 1 and 2. So that New York Comic-Con skeleton is going to have some company.
He's got some buddies.
Yes.
I saw the girl has a really long ponytail. That's what I noticed.
Now they're doing gender swaps now. So
there you go.
The creature from the Black Lagoon, which was first this female character, now is a male trick-or-treater.
Oh, there you go.
In the line, I think the only one that kind of it's good. And again,
it's a little different. I don't know,
but
I like these fine. I think it's very clever. I got the one, and
you did.
I don't know. I don't know what could be different about it that I would be like, oh, I need to get all of them. Because like I think it's enough that they exist that I can see like a photo of them. I don't feel like I need to own them because I'm not going to like set up a little trick-or-treating like diorama.
Oh, see, that's like what I want to do.
I think if they sold if they sold a little front door and a little stoop that you could walk up, then I maybe would need it. But I don't have that, so they seem kind of out of place.
Okay.
But I like that they exist, and like I said, I want to see them do Star Wars because now they're doing DC. They showed off like the Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and someone else. Batgirl. So they're gonna do what they can do.
Right. It would be cool.
It's just a lot. It's a lot. I'm looking at my one guy up there. It's every time I look at him, I think of the stop motion that they did, and like I just think of him moving like the stop motion. Like that stop motion, like whether it's good or bad, it like really ingrained itself in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
I saw some NECA stuff in the clearance section at Walmart. I've never seen that before.
Oh yeah, I grabbed one, and it was actually I grabbed the werewolf Raphael.
Oh, how much was it?
He was $25.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I had the creature Leonardo.
So I purchased that one, and he is somewhere because I actually opened the Raphael, which with NECA stuff.
Nice. Yeah,
my kid wanted to open it, and I was like, "You don't understand. This is not the kind of toy." Like he like took it out, and I'm like, "All right, now we have to like slowly move the joints."
Put a hairdryer on it. Yeah, no.
And then I'm like, and he's like, he's like, the size are interesting because his.
Oh yeah.
I feel like so he comes with 6 sets of hands. Mm-hmm. No, 3 sets of hands, 6 hands total. Okay. And the hands that hold the size, I would want to take the handles and put them in like a grip.
Yes, sure.
But unless you really are like bending the fingers out in order, he can't do it. So he has that traditional way of holding them, I'm guessing, which is holding them in between the prongs.
Right.
So the hand goes like that. But
that's how it can do it?
Yeah, easily. Yeah,
but you want him to hold it like it's a gun, like you're holding the
well, like how they were held in like the cartoon. Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what you want. Oh no, see, I would want it the way I want it, like sticking out like Wolverine's claws.
Okay,
that's cool.
So then that's acceptable to you.
That's acceptable. That would be acceptable to me. I thought I was going to be a completist in that line, but that's back when I thought they were only doing one turtle,
right?
And then they were going to do like Shredder or something. We never got Shredder.
Yeah, we never got that.
We just got doubled up on Leo and Raph for whatever reason.
Right, and now we're into black and white, which
is those actually look fine, but like, why would I want that?
They were on clearance too. That was wild. They had the 2-pack at Walmart, and they were on clearance. They got down to
I saw
35.
the 4-pack at Target.
Oh wow!
I'm like, this is gonna be here for a while. That NECA stuff at Target, it used to fly, and now it's sitting. And I don't know what can happen to get someone to finally buy it unless they do a sale. Those wrestler turtles, the 4-pack. I don't think they sold a single one. There's like 8 of those boxes there. I hope
that's true.
You were telling me that you heard a rumor that NECA was going to move to just being available on Target.com and that wouldn't even be sold in stores.
Right. I mean, I've heard stories that, the collector's section has been condensed and reduced in size. And
my Target is weird. A couple of them.
It occupies 2 spots, and that's the interesting
true
thing.
Too. Yeah, it's split, and it's like you have as you walk towards seasonal, like before you step into seasonal, there's like one final aisle with like video game stuff or something, and there's like pops there and like other stuff, and they're just like there's no rooms or everything is like put in sideways like a book. It's like this is the worst display, and no one's gonna buy anything over here. It looks like it's the darker clearance.
It's the darker side of NECA is back there, and then all the stuff that they integrate into the toy aisle is the cute stuff, the stuffies, the Ninja Turtles, that fun stuff, the head knockers.
That's not even the case in mine. It's like you can find the same stuff in both sections.
Oh,
it's very strange. And then some of them over by the action figure aisle. That's like the next aisle that has video game toys. Yeah. They have like a quarter section of the aisle that's NECA there.
Oh wow!
It's just very random. I don't know, but it's not moving.
No,
that's the common denominator.
And the people ran out of space with those gargoyles. They were like
poor gargoyles. Yeah. I do feel like there's just too much stuff now, and people are not collecting. There's too much to collect. Yeah. We're probably collecting the same amount of stuff, but there's just too much. So you have to draw the line somewhere. So it's like once you get past those most popular characters, you're like, I don't know that I need any more gargoyles. I don't need this 2-pack with Goliath and than the female gargoyle with extra faces. I'm not sure that's a needed thing in my collection.
No.
I do need a pair of fixed wings for that character, though. I never did get those fixed.
No.
So the future looks bright.
Yeah.
bright future for toys. I'm sure everything. McFarlane's gonna.
It'll all work out.
It'll all work out, or you can just go on Temu and buy some knockoff Zivas, because last week I discovered that they sell these 3D printed characters on Temu, and there was a cowboy, cool 3D Western cowboy Rob. I don't know what the rest of that is supposed to say, but the very first photo, it kind of looks like the Zivas from back in the day. Like, it's got a nice style to it. Even the pants almost had like a wood grain color to them. Of course, then you look at the other photos and like it's very, very rough, like 3D print. Like, I'm sure the ball joints are going to be loose as hell. And it will not be worth the $10 they're charging for it.
That is quite a bit. So I fell victim to the Temu model, the sculpting model, like the super articulated,
like the wooden guy.
Not the wooden guy. Well, it's similar, but it was almost like a buck, like a body.
Oh, it's okay. Interesting.
So I picked that up, but that thing fell apart.
Oh, is it 3D printed?
I don't believe it was. No, it was just
wow,
just fell apart in pieces in my hands.
You know, it's like, it's hard. On one hand, it seems like it's very difficult to make quality action figures. But then there are companies out there like this Collegiate Legends making very good 112 size sports action figures. Look at this. This is beautiful. So This week I'm going to interview the team behind Collegiate Legends, and they were kind enough to send me a sample of their Alabama figure, and like, look at this base. It looks like
that's
turf.
Really nice. Yeah, I've been really enjoying watching you play with the toy.
I know you didn't get one. I'm sorry.
I didn't get a sample, so I will not be joining you in the interview. I'm going to say that right now.
Not going to endear yourself to them if you're not.
I'm just gonna no, and you can tell them too.
Want to
say
greedy.
Bill is boycotting. Bill is boycotting this.
Want to be greedy? You don't even like football. You don't even like Alabama college football like I do.
I mean, you just like it because you're in
Floribama
proximity
line,
of
guys.
Yeah,
I don't even know. I could care less about football, college football. But the fact that this is basically a starting lineup Hasbro action figure that they never got around to doing, it's just fantastic. And they made some very smart choices with the articulation, and we're going to get into all of that in our conversation. But I just wanted to show this off because I don't think a lot of people realize what they're doing. And I'm very curious to see how this line grows, because there's no reason the NFL shouldn't be making action figures that look like this. There should be action figures for all the professional sports that are Marvel Legends quality.
Could you imagine, you go to the pro shop, you got your kid there, get them like football, get them the action figure.
Yeah. They should be walking around like the hot dog guy. Like, you want a hot dog, you want an action figure, popcorn, action figure, hot dog, popcorn, action figure.
Ooh.
See, I should be marketing for them. Maybe we'll talk. But I'm very excited to talk to them. I need to know more. How is this company that I've never heard of before making toys this quality? I don't understand it.
You'll find out. So
let's talk about that. If you have not listened to our interview with Brian Volkweiss from Nassau, please do. It's very quick. It's like 30 minutes of us chatting.
Yeah. Mostly him chatting. We got a couple words in.
I mean, we asked questions and he answered them. I mean, that's
true.
I mean, that's really a good interview.
You can listen to us every day of the week, but can you listen to him?
That's the thing.
That's the thing. That's an interview. You want to hear us.
This was an interview. We learned stuff. We learned about the Star Trek. So let me ask you this. So he laid out this plan. He wants to do 100 characters in his Star Trek line.
At a minimum.
He wants minimum.
That's ambitious.
First of all, I guess we should have asked this, like what Star Trek lines are included in this license, because there's like newer stuff that I think is off limits.
Do you think so?
I don't know why I think that. I feel like I've read that, or maybe he's just concentrating on stuff. But if you had to give me a rough estimate of how many characters exist in all of Star Trek that's ever been produced, how many characters could there be?
Thousands.
Jesus.
Thousands.
And we know he's not just doing your Kirks and your Spocks, so he could really get to some of those.
I mean, we're talking 60 years worth of property and IP.
That's true.
And it was really good to start that interview off the way we did, right with the Star Trek. Yeah. And I mean, you even got into it, which is great, because you're by no means a Star Trek fan, and I'm a huge Star Trek fan, even though all the Star Wars is behind me, and I'm just confused. But it was good to see.
Visually interesting. I think that's a big part of why I can't get into it. It's just people in suits, like the same suits.
Right. I tried to explain it to you. I mean, it's got a good mix. I mean, some shows, they have a good mix of the action and the morality and the what we want to see ourselves like in the future. You know, how if we're good. But
I would probably like the earlier episodes, because I like those original like Twilight Zone episodes.
Oh sure.
It's like the stilted, like almost still kind of theater acting doesn't bother me. I almost like appreciate that. Maybe I should start there.
You could. I mean, those original series, they updated all the effects, so they're no longer. They kind of went through and did like a little bit of a special edition for each one of them.
Interesting.
So they don't really use models for the Enterprise, and they kind of expanded the matte paintings and the environments to make them look a little bit more alien and not just the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It didn't. I mean, you had to introduce me to Star Wars. Like, I didn't even obviously know. I wasn't a big Star Trek fan, and I hadn't seen Star Wars. But you didn't. Did you try to push Star Trek on me? Like you pushed.
I don't believe I did. No, I think I didn't even try to push Star Wars on you. You knew my limits. Yeah.
Yeah, you knew my limits. It's like, this is more important. This is like a good time.
Right.
Appreciate that. That would have been funny if you got me really into Star Trek, but then I never got into Star Wars. I missed all.
Oh, that would be interesting. What the hell is all this about? Oh,
what the hell? I'm trying to think of something else in that interview. So I asked him how he got his toys in Walmart, because that's such a big deal. Yeah. And he explained that Walmart was stocking the DVDs, or the so he does a Netflix series called The Movies That Make Us. So were they selling DVDs of the movies from that, and then also the toys? Or was there a DVD of the show?
He had Nacelle had a company. Nacelle had an end cap with. They probably had like movies, and they probably had like sculptures and things like that.
Yeah.
That they were at.
Netflix has a section. They have a little section there at Walmart.
Well, that's the thing with like the most recent horror section is kind of being billed with like Bloody Disgusting, which is a horror company.
Okay. Right.
And I'm seeing a lot of that if you take a look. I went into Walmart this past week, and there were there were actually, outside of that one collector's section, which is the worst representation of the collector's section, there were 3 other subsections of like collector spots. So we had one for anime, we had one for pop culture, and then we had one for horror. Yeah. And it was like, this is pretty cool seeing this. I mean, you got to do something with the space that they used to allocate for DVDs.
That's true.
But it seems like this like destination stuff is just great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
And then if they can maintain it, we already went through one iteration of the horror stuff, where they had several exclusives, and those are actually now starting to get clearanced out. But they've put more back, and you mentioned the Trick or Treat Studios Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Right.
Been showing
so up. I saw somebody talking about that. I think it was Michael Crawford. And so I kept an eye out for those. And they're big. They're very large. Minimal articulation. The paint is not super great. So it's kind of a weird thing. But I don't know that it's the worst way to go about them. Because you could do them like NECA style and have like super detail. But like, I feel like the people buying these are not necessarily like action figure fans. They're probably just like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
A creepy clown. It's like it could be sold at Spirit Halloween. Like these will not be displayed. They'll just like, they're a cool gift, and like they could almost be like a dog toy essentially. But they're definitely not as refined as they could be. But they're big. So if that means anything to you, they will stand out in your collection. When we were talking to Brian about the end cap, I kind of wanted to ask him if he felt like all of the properties on the end cap were sort of his audition, and that what he really wanted was to do these Star Trek toys. It's like we talked about with Jada Toys. They had to prove to these companies they could make toys, so they had to kind of take any property they could get.
Oh,
and that's why they started doing like the cereal mascots.
It's like what we see with that McFarlane. With McFarlane, just to even bring it back to that series 1 of the DC Multiverse stuff, that was a hodgepodge of characters, and now it's almost exclusively Batman.
But he needed something on his resume to show to these other companies, these other licensors, that it's like, hey, look, we can make toys. We're in Walmart. Da, 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 da. So it's like maybe he's not a huge fan of sectors. Maybe he is. I don't actually know.
He is.
But I do know that
he's a little older than us. It missed us. We talked about that before the show. That line missed us. And he mentioned the Great Garloo, which I was like, who is this Great Garloo? I had to go look it up. I looked it up well before, prior to us changing the date of the interview. I had to go look up what the Great Garloo was, and I think it was a toy in the 70s. It was just like a giant remote-controlled monster.
Oh, okay. So it was just a toy.
It was just a toy, yeah.
Oh, it's very pricey. That's like, because it's like an old toy, so it's rare, yeah. Right. Oh, look at that! Wow. So he brought those back. Yeah. So maybe these are things he liked. I don't know. But it seemed, but they're not big names. They're not household names like Star Trek is. So to me, whether he likes them or not, it was a good way to show you could do stuff that, a company like Paramount could be like, all right, I trust you to make these toys. Right. So that's cool. So now he's finally getting, now he is doing something that is both well known and has a fan base, and the toys look like they're gonna be good.
Yeah, sounds like
he kept
it's a dream
mentioning
project
like
for
Black
him.
Series and
Classified,
G.I. Joe, as what these should be comparable to, which is great. Like I feel like that is your sort of. I think I said from the beginning that the Classified toys are like your quintessential action figure.
Yeah, that's your benchmark there.
If you're gonna start an action figure line that's based on real people, you make them detailed just like the Classified line.
Yeah.
So that's a good interview. That's up on our YouTube channel as well as just where you can hear the audio podcast. Very fun. Let's see. Mario Kart at McDonald's. Do I have one?
Do you? You've been showing it off all day. I don't know.
Yeah, we went to McDonald's. So we went to McDonald's, and we were leaving, and I got 2 Happy Meals because I have 2 kids, but I could only find one of the toys, and I was like, and there's like a play place at this one, so like the little one was playing around with it, and so they went back to look for it, and I went up to the front to ask if I could just buy a single toy. And they found it, or they found one, because I think they just found a random one in there because it doesn't have the sticker on the front, and I'm pretty sure I applied the sticker on both of them. So he just found some other kids. Maybe there's another one roaming around. These are kind of fun. The wheels pop off, and I guess you can, maybe they're different wheels. Like she has like hover wheels, Princess Peach does. So you can switch those around. There's I don't know if it's a chase or it's just like a rare. There's a gold Mario. And then there's a rose gold Peach, but the rose gold Peach, it just looks like she's naked. Like it doesn't look like rose gold. It just looks like a pink. Like it's not well done at all. It has no shine to it. So I feel like that was a failure, but it's still kind of a fun toy. But you were saying that you thought that they had done Mario Kart recently.
Yeah, recently, within the last couple of years. But I mean, it's one of those properties that it just comes up. So it could have
But
been
is it
for
the
like Mario Kart
same?
7. It's not the same. It's not the same.
They're not the
They're
same.
similar.
Toy. Okay.
They're similar. I mean,
Similar.
you just showed a little bit of an action
Similar.
feature there. They're similar. So like Peach
I see.
was originally on like a bike.
Yes.
And
Yes.
or some
these
kind
almost
of
these look
hoverboard.
better. Like the paint is better. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about these. Oh, these new ones come in little boxes. The ones I'm looking at here from 2022 came in baggies. But they look better.
Get rid of the bags. They're going towards boxes. They did that with Crocs too.
I like the boxes. It's like when, like the Black Series figures are in boxes, it feels, I don't know, like it has more.
Just a little bit more substance to it. Yeah, I get
It's
it.
a little bit more. It feels like a premium item. I don't know. I like it. So that's cool. Let's see what else we want to talk about this week. Did you have anything going on over there?
No.
Did you have a good Halloween?
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. We went up to my sister's again for the second year in a row. And she lives in a neighborhood where it's just nice and like all the houses are close and all the kids come out. And it just feels like that old school Halloween where like everyone's around having fun and nobody's on bikes because everything's so close that they're not like on bikes or like going around parking their cars and jumping out. I think you and I did that a couple times. When we were kids, we would go around in the car, jump out of the car, and then go to a house and then run out.
Hit the neighborhood,
Hit the neighborhood like that, yeah.
My neighborhood over here, there's someone that has like a golf cart that they have like the part that you would put all like the lawn equipment on, and they have the kids on that, dragging them around all the different neighborhoods. I was like, I don't know, I guess you get more candy, but it kind of takes like the experience out of it.
I mean, my kids got like 6 pounds of candy each. It was insane.
Oh, that's a lot of pounds. Did you do the Switch to get rid of some of it?
Switch Witch?
You don't know the Switch Witch?
No.
Okay, the Switch Witch is if you don't want your kids to have all of the candy, you say, all right, pick what you want, and then we're going to give the rest of it to the Switch Witch. And she's sort of like the Tooth Fairy. Because you leave it out, she comes, she takes it, but she leaves you a toy or something.
Oh.
So then you don't have kids with candy forever.
Gotcha.
Of course, then we come up to Christmas, they got candy again, but
yeah.
But then of course you just get to eat the candy, so that's the nice part of it.
Okay.
Or you could donate it, but you probably just eat it yourself. Just don't let your kids know. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people this year, how they always talk about like the war on Christmas, and it's kind of like the war on Halloween because you got all these trunk or treaters now. Instead of going house to house, you just have everyone come out one common spot, and then you're done. In like
I want to do that because I live on a very busy road. Well, it's not so much busy as people drive. It's long. The houses are separated far enough, so there's really no easy way to do trick or treat. So I'd like to try to like organize a trunk or treat, but again, I don't think I'm going to end up.
You don't want to be part of that. You're on the wrong side of history then.
Sure.
Be on the right side of history this Tuesday. Go vote. You know what to do. You're smart.
My daughter, to bring it back to Halloween, her teacher emailed us and said, "Oh, remember, it's Literary Character Day."
Yes, we do that.
At school, and I was like, "It's Halloween! Damn it!
Damn it!" You drop her off. Happy Halloween!
Oh my God, no! It's Literary Character Day. Stop it!
What a stupid. Who's complaining? Who is
complaining?
What a complainy bunch of people we have running around.
Yeah.
All right, Bill. Anything else for this big week?
I can't think of anything.
All right. Again, go vote. All right, everybody. Well, you know what we say. We don't want to grow up, but we already did. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye, everyone.